Darren Jones, the Director of Nursing at NHS Northwest London, inadvertently failed to provide documentary evidence on video recording of the meeting relating to the service user continued healthcare assessment as statutory body, committed institutional abuse, refused to make reasonable adjustment as serious breaches of the Equality Act 2010, Section 6, 149, the Autism Act 2009, Section 3, the European Convention on Human Rights, Article 3, 6, 8, Paragraph 1, Article 11 and Article 14, the United Nations Conventions on the Right of Persons with Disabilities, the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Older Person, and the United Nations Convention on All Forms Against Racial Discrimination. Northwest London NHS has been covering up their complaints, abuses, bribery, and corruption under the Bribery Act, further breached the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, which this allegation about National Health Service, Northwest London, local authority staff, and other public bodies committed racial discrimination, which is very true on the following. This include the Bribery Act 2010, breached the NSH bribery and anti-corruption policy, covering up bribery and corruption, abuse of the service user human rights, health rights, cultural rights, and social care rights, abuse the service user on the ground of his disability, age, and race, breach the Equality Act, failure to process subject access data, SARS, breach Article 16 of the GDPR 2018, and Section 165 and Section 173 under the Data Protection Act, failure to provide documentary evidence on the Freedom of Information Act 2000, ignored documentary evidence from the Parliamentary and Health Service Ombudsman letters on January the 31st, 2023 and February the 24th, 2023. Where is the documentary evidence does say in statutory guidance on video recording of the local resolution meeting claimed by Mr. Darren Jones, the director? Mr. Jones inadvertently failed to provide documentary evidence on the statutory guidance of video recording of local resolution meeting in this regard. Darren Jones is covering up racism by favouring white privilege of the National Health Service, Northwest London. And Miss Sue Cooper committed bribery, corruption. This include racism by breaching the Equality Act 2010 and the Bribery Act by covering up complaint and ignoring documentary evidence from the Parliamentary and Health Service Ombudsman. She breached Data Protection Act under Section 165, 173, and she breached Article 16 under the GDPR. Mr. Jones, Professor Charles Sheldon, Alison Barkley, Sue Cooper, Ian Robinson, Juliet Shorenga, Laura Morell, Catherine Hannon, and other staff were involved of abusing the position, have acted with misrepresentation. This include under the Fraud Act 2006, which is contrary to racketeering, influence, and corrupt organization. The named individuals breach the server user subject access data request under Article 16 of GDPR and Section 165, 173 under the Data Protection Act in relation of the DST, Decision Support Tool in this regard, of July the 27th, 2021 and video recording of the meeting of April 1st, 2022 inadvertently failed to make reasonable adjustment by breaching this legislation. This includes racial discrimination in this regard.